As tensions rise over President Donald Trump's controversial plan to relocate Palestinians from Gaza, Egypt and other Arab countries have united in firmly rejecting the U.S. proposal. With Gaza's future hanging in the balance, the upcoming summit in Cairo is poised to be a pivotal moment in shaping the unified Arab world stance on the crisis. What will this summit mean for Gaza's reconstruction, and how will the Arab world maintain its firm stance against Palestinian displacement schemes? Welcome to In Depth. The Egyptian plan for Gaza's reconstruction focuses on immediate action to rebuild the Strip, addressing the massive and unprecedented destruction that it has suffered, as reported by Al Ahram Online. The plan prioritizes restoring key infrastructure, including roads, public buildings, electrical networks, and water systems. Additionally, an Egyptian Arab committee will oversee the reconstruction, ensuring that residents are not displaced. The upcoming Cairo summit aims to solidify a framework that supports the Palestinian presence and rejects calls for forced displacement, which is considered a violation of international law. The news outlet emphasized that this firm stance is upheld not only by Egypt and the Arab world, but also by the international community, including European nations and global institutions, which have condemned such displacement rhetoric as a breach of international law and UN resolutions. As the international community watches closely, Egypt and other Arab countries have reaffirmed their stance against U.S. proposals to displace the Palestinians from Gaza and vowed to present a reconstruction plan that keeps Gazans on their land, signaling a unified Arab front.
Amid growing discussions about Gaza's future, Egypt and other Arab states have firmly rejected U.S. President Donald Trump's controversial proposal to displace Palestinians from the territory. Instead, Egypt has unveiled a comprehensive reconstruction plan for Gaza, reaffirming the Palestinians' right to remain in their homeland. This initiative aligns with the broader Arab objective of safeguarding Palestinian sovereignty. In line with this vision, the Egyptian Engineers Syndicate has announced the formation of a specialized advisory committee comprising experts focused on Gaza's reconstruction. The committee is tasked with developing a detailed strategy that adheres to international standards in planning, engineering, and execution, ensuring maximum efficiency and effectiveness in the rebuilding process. The rejection of any form of displacement comes as Egypt and other Arab nations prepare for a critical summit on February 27th in Cairo. The summit aims to establish a unified Arab stance on Gaza's future and counter Israeli and American initiatives that seek to uproot its population. A key element of the reconstruction plan is the use of Palestinian labor, ensuring that the people of Gaza lead their own recovery. As Palestinians, who have endured 15 months of brutal aggression, face mounting efforts to force them from their homeland, Arab leaders are intensifying coordination to prevent the liquidation of the Palestinian cause after decades of struggle.
Furthermore, the Emergency Arab Summit, scheduled to take place in Cairo at the end of this month, will discuss an Arab proposal aimed at ensuring Palestinians remain on their land, as reported by Al-Sharq Al-Awsat. The Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul Gheit stated that the upcoming Cairo summit will present a unified Arab stance as an alternative to Trump's plan. He emphasized that the proposal will be based on Palestinian consensus and supported by broad Arab and international backing. The summit will also focus on a reconstruction plan for Gaza, ensuring that Palestinians remain in their homeland. Abul Gheit further reaffirmed the Arab world's firm rejection of any concessions regarding Palestinian land and reiterated commitment to a two-state solution. And for more analysis, we're joined from Cairo by Dr. Muhammad Osman, international relations expert, and from occupied Jerusalem by Dr. Abdel Nasser Mekki, the political science professor. Welcome to both of you, and I would start with you, Dr. Osman. Now, how can the Egyptian-led reconstruction plan offer a long-term solution to Gaza's stability, and how can Egypt push for its implementation?
Thank you for having me, Hala. I think that Egypt has put forward a detailed plan in order to ensure the continuity of Palestinian existence inside the Gaza Strip, in contrast to the other plans that are being proposed by the United States and Israel, which entail population transfer and forced displacement and ethnic cleansing, which is basically a war crime and a crime against humanity, while Egypt is presenting a proposal that is in line with its moral structures, its principles, and also international law. And this is what matters at the end of the day. And I think that Egypt's proposal comes at a time it has two proposals actually Egypt is presenting to the international community, which will require the implementation of any of them will require substantial international support and backing, especially in terms of funding. The proposal is being overseen by experts. Its implementation, if it's implemented, will be overseen by a specialized committee, a technical committee formed by the engineers syndicate in Egypt, and it provides a timeline for the removal of the rubble, the placement of the Palestinian civilians inside the Gaza Strip in safe areas inside the Gaza Strip until the rubble is removed. And afterwards, the reconstruction will begin. Egypt is planning and is pushing to host a UN-backed conference on the reconstruction of Gaza, which is expected to witness very, very strong participation by many prominent regional and international actors, including the Arab world, including European countries, and maybe even China, many countries that can provide proper funding to participate in the reconstruction of Gaza. However, this can never happen unless the ceasefire that is holding now keeps on holding, that it doesn't collapse. Egypt and Qatar recently, just today, saved the ceasefire agreement from collapsing due to the intransigence of the Israelis, and Israeli intransigence encouraged by the Americans, unfortunately. Now it seems that the ceasefire will hold longer. However, there has to be guarantees that this will be a permanent ceasefire, a permanent end of the conflict, so that this plan can move forward. And more important than that, the United States has to be convinced that its proposal is not feasible and cannot be implemented.
Dr. Mekki, we've just heard Dr. Osman explaining to us the Egyptian proposal for reconstruction of Gaza. How does this proposed Egyptian reconstruction plan provide a viable alternative to the displacement plans proposed by the Trump administration?
Yes, I think the plan of the Egypt, especially they have the technical committee and they have a plan and good proposal. I read this proposal and I think it will be response to a Trump proposal for displacement of the people of Gaza. And as he said, he will displacement the people in Gaza in order that he will reconstruction. And after that, he will maybe divide the people here and here. Maybe he will make it empty in Gaza. So I think the proposal and the plan of Egypt coming now in a sufficient and a good time in order to respond and also reaction of all the voices from the Israeli and from the American that they couldn't make any reconstruction in Egypt if there will be people there. So yes, I think will be response to this, and also at the same time, the Egyptian government and also the Egyptian people is with this proposal and the plan. And also at the same time, the leader in Egypt now they support and they also provide all the assistance, especially technical, and also at the same time they make all the effort in order to make coordination with the Arab League. And because of this, they will be submit in 27 in Cairo. But before that, there will be like meeting from the fifth country, the fifth meeting, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Egypt, and Qatar, and Arab Emirates. So I think will be response for all the plan and all what have been planned for Egypt, for Gaza to be empty from their people and citizens there. And I think they will provide also the good willing for the people of Gaza to stay in their home. And also at the same time, according to the plan today, they will be supplying, that's by the mobile house today. And also at the same time, there will be tents and all things that have been agreed. The Israeli, after that, they agree in order to go ahead with the agreement for the releasing the three of the hostages next Saturday. So yes, I think it was a good plan from the Egyptian government, and also at the same time, it's leading all the Arab world, and all the Arab world will be after Egypt in order to be against any plan or proposal to displacement the people of Gaza out of their land.
Dr. Osman, in light of the American proposal to displace the Palestinians from Gaza, how do you assess the Egyptian-led Arab stance against it?
I think that Egypt has mobilized to begin with the Arab states, the member states of the Arab League, against the American proposal. Egypt and also Jordan as well played a pivotal role in that, and this has to be highlighted and stressed in light of recent developments. And I think that the Arab stance flatly rejected the U.S. proposal. Because it's basically a proposal to liquidate and end the Palestinian cause. And on these grounds, it has been rejected by the Arab world. And in particular, this also proposal by the United States presents a grave threat to the national security of both Egypt and Jordan. And that's why Egypt really upped the rhetoric and said, no, we will not accept this. If you allow me to be a bit colloquial about it, over our dead bodies. That was the impression that was conveyed to the United States and Israel. And I think that this is now starting to take grounds over there, and they are starting to understand this message very clearly, that this will be detrimental to the U.S.'s relationship with the entire Arab world, especially Egypt. Egypt is a historical partner and a strategic partner of the United States. We have maintained a very strong partnership with the United States for almost 50 years. I don't think that this 50-year investment, the U.S. is just willing to jeopardize it over this, basically. But of course, the days will tell, and Egypt is, I believe, in my own opinion, that Egypt is ready for all scenarios. However, I think that this being an Arab stance, not just an Egyptian stance, strengthens Egypt's position, and also not only did it garner Arab opposition, and of course this is an opposition that will also manifest itself in the upcoming Five Nations meeting in Riyadh, and also in the upcoming Arab states, and on also the Arab Summit on the 27th of February, which will be hosted in Cairo. And this itself has its symbolism. Not only did this garner Arab opposition, it also garnered international opposition to this plan. The European Union, very strong nations in the European Union like Germany and France have rejected this. Even the French president, Emmanuel Macron, said that he opposes this. Britain, a core ally of the United States and a supporter of U.S. foreign policy all the way, rejected this and said it's unattainable. And also countries like China. China has released about 4 statements condemning these propositions and saying that they are against it. Russia is also against it. Brazil is also against it. South Africa and many other African countries are against it. So there is basically international consensus that this should never happen, and that this is not a solution. And I think this can only be owed to the United Arab stance, ignited and led by the Arab Republic of Egypt.
Dr. Miki, we have seen several statements by US President Donald Trump, and the United States seems to be determined to push for the displacement plan. So can the international community's rejection, as Dr. Osman said, of this plan be instrumental to the failure of this strange US displacement plan?
Yes, I think the international community, and according to all statements that have been coming from all the countries like China, like Russia, like France and Germany, and also Brazil and also South Africa, they are against. This is like a genocide. That you will, that's displacement the people from their land to go outside in order to justify by something it's not really like that they want to reconstruction and build Gaza, and also to make it Rivera. The people of Gaza, they didn't want this. They want to stay in their land. And also the examples of this, as you know, that they stay in their lands regardless of all the destruction and the damage in their houses. And also they will stay there despite there is no any lights or any, that's the lack of food. And so I think, yes, the international community could also stop what Trump is the proposal, because it's like a strange, no president in the world that just like this, in order that he will kick the people of from their land and go out. Because of that, he just want to make reconstruction. This is something is not related to him. It is related to the people of Gaza. And because of this, the international community and the United Nations and also all the international organizations in the world, they also will be make like coalition against this, because if this will happen, I think it will be like an examples to be out for all many people, for all many countries in the world. So yes, the international community should stop and also should be against the plan proposal, and even against the Israeli aggression and proposal for displacement the people of Gaza, outside Gaza.
Dr. Osman, the upcoming Cairo summit on February 27th seems to be pivotal. What should we expect in terms of concrete actions from Arab states during this summit to counter the American and Israeli proposals?
I think that the Cairo summit will reiterate the core Arab stance of rejecting the displacement schemes, and also stressing that the two-state solution is the only solution for the Palestinian-Israeli conflict, based on the two-state solutions on the 1967 June 4th, 1967 borders, meaning the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, and East Jerusalem. And also, they will stress, I expect them to endorse the reconstruction plan that Egypt is proposing, so that it would seem that this is an Arab reconstruction plan, not just an Egyptian reconstruction plan. And even the King of Jordan, King Abdullah II, when he was in his meeting at the Oval Office with President Trump, did say that. He's saying that we are waiting for the Egyptian plan, the Egyptian initiative, and that we support the Egyptian plan. And I think that Egypt will propose that to the Arab summit. It will be endorsed and supported. And moving forward, it will be an Egyptian-led Arab initiative, because basically it cannot be implemented without the support, especially the financial support and the political support of many of the prominent other Arab actors, like, for example, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and also important actors like Jordan in the Palestinian-Israeli calculus. And of course, the Palestinian Authority, the state of Palestine, who are the sole legitimate representative of the Palestinian people. And of course, I believe there will be a condemnation of the Israeli expansionism and the Israeli violations on the ground and attempts to liquidate the Palestinian cause. And also, they will try to send the message to the United States that the Arab world, that the Palestinian issue is the cause of all causes, if I may borrow the words of the Egyptian president Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the cause of all causes to the Arab world, and that its existence and its continuation and its just peaceful solution is a top priority for the Arab world. I think this is the message that the Arab Summit will wish to convey. And I hope it resonates with decision makers in Washington.
Dr. Miki, I would ask you the same question I asked Dr. Osman, because as the Cairo summit on February 27th approaches, what key outcomes should we expect from Arab countries regarding Gaza's reconstruction and the protection of its people, from your own opinion?
I think I expected that from the Arab Summit, which will be in Cairo 27, and also the Palestinian people now, even in West Bank and Gaza, as you know, because also in the West Bank, there is displacement from the north part of West Bank. The Israelis did like this now, and also in Gaza. So the Palestinian people, they are expected from the summit to be as exceptional summit, not like just normal and without doing anything, because this is something is dangerous to be as the proposal of Trump to displacement the people from Gaza to go to Jordan and also to go to Egypt. This is will touch the security, you know, that for security for them Egypt and for Jordan. And because of this, I think this summit should be all the president of the Arab countries, they should come to this summit in Cairo, and they should support Egypt in their plan, and also financially, and also by all the tools that they have it in order to provide assistance to Egypt, which be, I think now the Egypt will take their role in order to be the leader of the Arab countries, because this is something is dangerous. And because of this, I think they will send a message to Trump and to Netanyahu that the Arab countries and the Arab League will not, you know, that stay just watching what the proposal of Trump and also with Netanyahu. And this is something red line for all these countries, and they should stop. And also at the same time, I think the Arab country should also have issue like initiative, which will be like a solution for the war in Gaza, and also for the issue of the displacement, and also for the proposal of Trump. So I think the Arab country also in this summit, they also should have their one voice, send it to the American, to the Israeli, that they are unity and they are in the same, you know, that's position, and supporting the Palestinian in Gaza to stay in their home, and also the Palestinian in West Bank to stay in their home, and supporting them financially, and supporting them with, you know, that's what they should be done for staying them in their land in Gaza and West Bank. This is, I think, something will give like good and positive, you know, that position to the Palestinian in West Bank and Gaza.
Dr. Osman, the United Nations has condemned the idea of forcibly displacing Palestinians. Do you think that the international community can actually effectively prevent this plan, and how it can contribute to the reconstruction process in Gaza?
Well, in terms of contributing to the reconstruction process, I think that the United Nations, that the international community in general, should go forward to actively participate in the conference Egypt wishes to host regarding the reconstruction of Gaza. Egypt will present a plan, and it will require the consensus of the international community, and it will the endorsement of the international community, and it will also require their financial support. So I think that this is a pathway for reconstruction, a viable one that can be taken. And I think that Egypt is providing that as part of its overall responsible position and interaction with the crisis at hand in Gaza and in occupied Palestine. In terms of what they can do to halt the displacement plans, unfortunately, the only thing they can do is just to voice their opposition, to say that they will take no part in this, and also the West and even countries like China and others have to consider that and have to understand that criticizing Israel and condemning his behavior is not sufficient. That at some point action needs to be taken. Actions in what form? These countries have very, very deep-rooted relations with Israel. The European sanctions on Israel, and I think that they should do that. At some point, also, China can do the same, and they do have a strong economic ties to Israel. I think if they choose to pressurize Israel in that way, it will counterbalance the unlimited support that they enjoy from the United States.
Yes. Well, that was Dr. Mohammed Osman, international relations expert. Thank you very much. And Dr. Abdel Nasser Mikki, political science professor. Thank you as well. Thank you both for your valuable insights. And ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of today's episode of In Depth. I'm Hala Al-Hamalawi. Thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more updates here on Q News.